An ex-cop charged after racially motivated attack on a black man. Took a while, but they got to him, put him on full mask. New Hampshire's Attorney General filed a civil rights complaint against a former police officer accused of assaulting a black bank executive last year in downtown Portsmouth. The action, filed October 29th at Rockingham County Superior Court, alleges Portsmouth Police Sergeant Aaron Goodwin was motivated by race when he assaulted Mamadou Dembele outside of Gilley's diner last November. Goodwin was not serving as an officer at the time of the incident, having been fired from the Portsmouth Police Department in 2015 over accusations he inappropriately influenced an elderly woman with dementia to name him as the beneficiary of a $2 million estate. Meanwhile, the civil complaint alleges that two of Goodwin's relatives, his brother Kevin Goodwin and sister-in-law Shannon Goodwin, who were visiting from Maryland, violated the civil rights of a second unidentified black man who attempted to help Dembele. The evidence demonstrates, quote, the evidence demonstrates that race and national origin motivated the Goodwin's conduct, end quote. That's what the complaint states. In a separate federal lawsuit, Dembele accused Aaron Goodwin of assault and battery, claiming lasting physical and psychological harm, including concussion symptoms and past traumatic stress disorder. The Attorney General's office filed 4 charges under the New Hampshire Civil Rights Act, 1 each against Aaron and Kevin Goodwin and 2 against Shannon Goodwin. The state seeks a $5,000 penalty per charge, along with an injunction barring the Goodwins from further contact with Dembele and prohibiting any further civil rights infractions. Previously, community advocates in Portsmouth put pressure on law enforcement to take action after Dembele came forward about the attack, claiming he was targeted because of his race. The complaint stated that Dembele was at a diner the day before Thanksgiving with the Goodwins, whom he did not know, began assaulting him after he offered Aaron Goodwin a cigar as a sign of friendship and goodwill on his Thanksgiving Eve. Goodwin's 2 associates, whom the suit says appeared to be intoxicated, became hostile and began insulting Dembele. During the ordeal, Kevin Goodwin specifically asked Dembele what county he was from, but then mocked his answer and implied he used marijuana due to his race, according to the court filing. In the subsequent altercation in the parking lot, the complaint states that Shannon Goodwin started yelling at Dembele using the N-word. It further claims that Aaron Goodwin then forcefully threw Dembele to the ground, even though Dembele did not do anything to provoke him. He twisted his leg, hit his head on the pavement in the process, the lawsuit alleges. The complaint further details that Shannon Goodwin allegedly spewed racial slurs at 2 other young men who entered the parking lot, one black and the other Asian. According to the state, when the black men attempted to assist, Kevin Goodwin allegedly pushed his arm into the man's upper body, and Shannon Goodwin struck him in the face and chest. Quote, racially motivated crimes impact a community, not just the targeted individual. Robin Malone, an attorney for the victim, said. Mamadou is grateful for the state's decision to call the Goodwin's conduct what it is and to seek to hold them accountable. The attorney, Michael Lewis, called on the 2 young men who stepped in during the incident to come forward with testimony to help the state's case. According to the complaint, the men chose not to provide their names to the police at the time. Aaron Goodwin pleaded guilty to simple assault in September, resulting in a suspended jail sentence. Notably, he was not charged with using racist language during the assault. His attorney, John Durkin, stated the Goodwin's actions were not racially motivated, claiming he believed he was defending his family during the confrontation. There is no evidence whatsoever anything Aaron Goodwin did that night was motivated by race. That's not true. No true truth to that whatsoever, Durkin said. That's according to reports. However, the New Hampshire Attorney General's office has emphasized that courts have consistently ruled defendants can be held accountable for supporting others in racially motivated harassment, even if they themselves did not make explicit racial remarks. The assault occurred while defending a Goodwin's family members for racially harassing Dembele and was otherwise unprovoked, the complaint states. Kevin Goodwin entered a guilty plea to a disorderly conduct charge in August. Shannon Goodwin has yet to surrender herself to authorities on criminal charges. And Mr. Dembele is a vice president at Bangor Savings Bank, has also sued Aaron Goodwin for negligence, battery, and assault, seeking monetary damages and emotional and psychological trauma, quote, from an assault by a white former police officer in the city in which that officer served as a police officer. He alleges his job performance suffered after he had an acute concussion with persisting post-concussion symptoms and a tear to his left Achilles tendon, which required surgery, injury to his left ankle, and other physical and psychological injuries. That's according to the suit. Quote, these injuries have impeded his enjoyment of life and his ability to perform work at an intellectual and cognitively demanding job, the lawsuit states. Many community activists who rallied for the man questioned why it took so long for Goodwin and his relatives to face charges. Quote, we say that had that been a black man attacking a white person, that black man would have been arrested right then, said Will R. Velo, chairperson of the New Hampshire Business Alliance for Color People, for people of color. We all believe that as a community of concerned BIPOC people and organizations, we feel that this was a hate crime. We don't see it as anything but that. We believe that the evidence would show that's what it is, end quote. One thing I can appreciate is the level of prosecutorial prowess being shown here. And the prosecution is correct that judges have ruled you can basically be party of a hate crime and be charged with hate crime, even if you're not using racial slurs during said hate crime, is basically that way for any other crime. They would charge you for murder if you were the one taking a person to the killing or driving them away from it. They'll charge you too. I mean, it's quite simple. The doctrine is there legally. What say you?
Well, first, I know I'm a broken record with this. I say this constantly, but especially now that the federal government is just useless and against you in most ways. Please, please, please get involved in your local community politics. Please, because that is the only way that we can touch any of this. That's the only way that we can make a difference with any of this type of process. And second, these police officers being held to account is the only way that they'll think twice about doing this type of stuff. I mean, it can't be said, I know a lot of people are so annoyed, y'all know you see it in the comments and stuff. It's like, oh, Dr. Richey's a race baiter. He's just race baiting. Like, you're just making all of this stuff up. Like people aren't actually going through these things every single day, but it's a result of the culture. And millions of Americans simply don't understand that politics happens in your backyard every day. The police officers that harass you, they are there in large part because of the municipalities and how those municipalities operate and function. We just act like nothing's happening whatsoever. Please, corporate Democrats, won't you save us? Won't you please throw us a bone? No. We need to do that. We need to save ourselves. We need to think more about this, and we need to realize that it's our responsibility. And we're just letting these people take that responsibility away from us. And every time we lose, we're like, oh, the Democrats didn't do this. What about you? What about us? Because as far as I'm concerned, I know, especially my generation and down, I know so many people who have never voted, so many people who have absolutely no clue how this country works whatsoever, and they're not interested. And the attitude is, well, I won't participate until the Democrats give me a reason to. Well, congratulations. So again, I'm a broken record with this, and I'm a little frustrated right now because all of this is so avoidable. But please, we need to step up. We just have to, or else things are going to get worse.
That's right. That's right.